So we're going to be talking about Host Milano 2021. It sounds like a football match, doesn't it?
Yeah. And why would
it's
you
more
go to
exciting.
Milan? Why would you go to Milan anyway?
Actually, people think Milan's really cool because of the
No, it's a
fashion thing.
terrible place
It's a
to do.
terrible place.
Yeah.
I did get a good tie there once, though.
You what?
I bought a nice tie at the airport in Milan.
That's why it was nice, because you were leaving.
Yeah, they don't give it to you when you're going in.
No.
Although I think the two places that are my least favorite airports to get into are Kiev and Moscow. Moscow, because I got shamed. I got shamed at Moscow because I didn't keep the ticket stub when we changed flights. I mean, who keeps that little ticket? Once you're on the plane, you're there, so you don't care about, like that little tiny little 1-inch square ticket stub. So when I got off the plane and we went through, they asked for it, and I said, "Oh, I don't know, it's probably on the seat somewhere." And they literally went, "Ugh," and then they said something in Russian, and then a guy came over. And he pulls out of a drawer a wooden plaque, in the medieval ages when you had to carry, when your hands were in what do you call stocks? They call them stocks, where they were chained up like in there, and then they're flagellating you, whipping and throwing rotten vegetables. He gave me this giant wooden thing to hold with a sign that says something in Russian. I think it says, "I'm an idiot." And I had to walk everywhere and show this to everybody. "I'm an idiot" wooden plaque to let me through. And everybody I showed it to went, "Ugh." Literally. And then everybody would look at you. It was like the most humiliating journey. And then in Kiev, that was Moscow. And in Kiev, they didn't tell you had to fill out a form until you got to the airport. And at the airport, they had all the forms and no pens. So there would be, I think there was about 40 or probably more, maybe 50 people, all kind of just standing around. We couldn't get through because there was no pens to fill out these forms. And standing right next to this is this lady looking at us. And in her right hand, she's twiddling a biro. So no one's obviously talking to her saying, but I went up to her and I said, "Excuse me, miss." And she's looking at me. She doesn't say anything. I said, and I'm looking at the pen. I say, "Do you have a pen?" And she looks at me, keeps twiddling the pen right in front of my face. Niet. No. So, yeah. Anyway, back to Milan. So at Milano, as bad as it might be, not my worst experience in an airport, but they have this fantastic espresso. And I love the fact they don't say coffee. They're very specific.
Of course, they're very specific. Is where it was invented. Achille
Mamma
Gaggia
mia.
was.
Yeah.
I think it was there. There's
Was it?
lots of. I don't know. I don't remember.
Can you move closer to the microphone, Max?
I'm making it up,
please. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm making it up as I go. Probably was Milan.
Probably. Actually, no, Rome. Wasn't it Rome?
Maybe.
Espresso?
I don't know. Achille
Look, it's all the
same.
No, it's Italy, right?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
It's Italy anyway, so
Does it matter?
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. People from Milan love people from the south anyway. We know that.
Oh, that's I think you strayed off the ironic path into the sarcasm path with that. So anyway, so this we've been away for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
it's not that we've been lazy. Genuinely, it was that last week and 2 weeks ago, I had to get I had 4 articles to get out on deforestation in the cocoa industry.
Where did you get them out from?
Honestly, I had to get them done by. I promised this NGO I would write them by Halloween, before the end of Halloween. I get them out on Halloween. I was hoping to get them out the week before. I got them out at 10 minutes to midnight on Halloween night.
It's still good.
It still counts, but it killed me. It absolutely killed me. So that was that weekend. So I didn't do it that weekend. Last weekend, what happened last weekend?
Last weekend, I was a little mad about houseworks. How the handyman that tackled the houseworks.
Oh, that's right. I saw the damage.
Yeah, I wasn't a happy bunny.
We're not going to talk about that. We go back to our happy place.
Yeah.
Our happy place is an espresso show. But we've also, I gave a short talk at the Coffee Shop Innovation exhibition at the Excel Center a few days ago. And so we'll talk a little bit about what happened there because I met some interesting people.
Hmm.
And so we have a few bits of news to cover, really.
Did they get
And
any freebies?
I tried to steal everything I could get my hands on. The trouble was most of the things I wanted to steal were big.
Right.
And for some reason, they were keeping a close eye on me. I think someone told them I was coming.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. There was, I will talk about it later, a Dalle Corte machine that I wanted to take with me, but it wouldn't fit under my jacket. Plus,
ah.
they were using it. Plus, also Ricky, the distributor,
Hmm.
um, who runs the distribution for the UK, he looked like he could handle himself. I'm just saying, he looked like he would take me down if I tried. So I didn't try. I
I
did try
see.
distracting him a couple of times. I said, "Look, you've got customers over there. You know, you should probably look. You want to talk to them?" And he's like, "No, that's all right."
Like, oh, what the hell is that?
I was trying to grab. It was very good coffee, best coffee. I'd say the best coffee I had in the show was actually from the Della Corte stand. And I'm not sure if it was the coffee or the machine, but it was
I'm
it was
looking
nice.
at their website, and I'm about to get an epileptic attack here.
Wow, with lots of flashing stuff.
Lots of flashing, moving
Yeah, it's meant for
things, and
young
it's like,
people, Max. It's not meant for old people like you.
what do you
No,
mean?
because I'm older. I was wondering how long you'd take
What
to
do
pick
you
up on
mean?
that. So I was anyway, you have to go to the Dally Corte UK site. Don't go to the international
Yes,
one. Yeah. They
I
we're going to
am.
talk about them because he said a lot of interesting things and maybe a subject for another time. We were talking a lot about serviceability. And I liked Ricky because he really knew his stuff. You'd like him, Max. He was an engineer. He used to service machines. He
Right.
knows them inside and out. And we had long discussions about uh, fascinating things like ceramic washers and also about basket sizes and about the 54 mil baskets that they use and why they use 54 mil baskets, not 58 mil
Right.
portafilters. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that, not
We're
today.
not. We made a big teaser about it, and now we're not going to talk about it.
As usual, we'll promise
As
to
per
talk about it
usual.
later and then never talk about it again.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way it rolls. Feel free to write to us if you want your money back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but we are going to talk about a couple of our favorite picks. What we've seen, there have been some sexy, lovely things coming out of Host Milano
Hmm.
that have made me want to get my wallet out and dust the mothballs, and all the rest of it. But should we start there, or should we start with the coffee shop innovation? Just start with Host
Start with
Milano.
the coffee shop innovation,
Oh,
and
you
then
want to
we
start
go on
there?
there.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll tell you, there's really only one thing. Well, two things I want to say. One, I really appreciated the time from. I mean, I met a few different people there, and it was all the people were good. But I really appreciated the time with Delacorte, and I want to spend more time understanding their machines. Mainly, frankly, because Ricky sold it to me. He sold it to me on their maintenance and on their serviceability, who they are. He was just very, very honest. He's a very straightforward guy. I think he runs he runs the whole servicing business. I think they do it for a lot of coffee shops as well. Like they'll take care of the whole package.
Hmm.
And so I really appreciated that. I had the best coffee there. And it just piqued my interest as to their machine lineup. Maybe I would say certainly more on the industrial, like commercial side, I should say, rather than home machines. But on the commercial machine side, I thought they had some very interesting ways they did things, they went about things, which Ricky just explained, like in a way that wasn't marketing, but in a way that was, from an engineering side,
Hmm.
which I loved. I love that. So that was really good. I would say definitely go and visit them at the stand, but of course it's over, so you can't. But they're in London, so go check them out. So that was that. Then I did a still talk, and I wanted to bring this up because the talk was there was me and a couple of other guys on a panel talking about coffee and health uh, for it turned out to be the demographic of people who were sitting there. They were all pretty much people who were interested in or in the process of opening up specialty coffee shops. And they're in
Hmm.
the process of opening up these coffee shops, and they were looking to see what the health angle was, whether there was, I guess, value in trying to add some different unique selling points or some different products to their menu and we talked about that side of things. But what was particularly interesting to me was that apart from one there was like one family, one group there that a lot of them hadn't really thought through the finance side of it. And I think this is a problem that if you're going to open up a business, a lot of people open up a business because they're interested in the subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a big problem where you have a hobby, and I'm not saying this is a hobby for all those people, but let's say you have a hobby, let's say it's woodworking, and
Mm-hmm.
you say, I really love woodworking. I spend all my free time I can woodworking. I love it so much. I know what I'll do. I'll quit my job and I'll run a business, doing woodworking. Let me tell you, my friends, running a business is the quickest way to fall out of love with that thing that you love.
Yep.
It takes all the romance out of it. But part of that is because, and so we had this problem at my cafe. I had a chef. We had two chefs, and one of the chefs were specialized in Italian food. He made the most amazing pasta, and I kid you not, I honestly had on heart the best pasta I've ever tasted in my life, anywhere, including Italy. This guy
Mm-hmm.
made it, um, and his name was Sasha. And so Sasha would make all
Typical
this,
Italian.
huh? He's
Typical Italian
Macedonian,
name.
but no, he was probably, I don't know, whatever. But he was a really nice guy,
Mm-hmm.
but he can't do math to save his life, and math wasn't his thing. He would create amazing food, but what he couldn't do was create amazing food at a price that I could sell it for, that I would make a profit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd talk to him about gross profit percent margins, and how you worked it out. And I said, look, Sasha, you've got to make these pastas to a price, because we know it doesn't matter whether people love it or not, or whatever else. Unfortunately, people have, like, unless it's something new, because this pricing strategy is such a key thing
Mm-hmm.
in opening a business. If you're opening a cafe, you need to understand pricing strategy. And what that means is that if you're selling an espresso, all right,
You
or an
can't sell it at
Americano,
£5.
you can't sell it for a completely different price, because people have a price point in mind, because there's lots of espressos out
Which
there.
is already a robbery in the UK, because £2.50 for an espresso. Are you flipping kidding me anyway?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, that's not go there.
Let's not go there. I just had a cup of tea at Morrison's when I went down to have breakfast with my son today. £1.75.
What? For a
Yeah. Now the gross profit margin
for a
percentage on that would be
hot
about
water.
300%. Sorry?
for a bowl of hot water?
It wasn't even a bowl. It was a dirty little, it was quite dirty. And it was a tea bag inside a dirty little pot, which made one cup of tea. Yeah. £1.75. To our American friends, that's like $2 and a bit, probably $2.25. Okay, for a cup of tea. So the gross margin percent markup on that is going to be around, let's say it's Morrison's, they're paying 5p for a tea bag, probably less, right? So you're talking about a 300%
Mm-hmm.
gross. Anyway, so the point is that people will have an idea. If they pigeonhole it, they go, oh, that's like that. And they'll immediately decide whether you're too expensive or not for them to even go and visit you.
Mm-hmm.
So the key thing to do is to have a products that, like everybody else has got, that is in line with the prices that everybody else is doing. And you've got to make a profit on those things, generally speaking. Well, you've got to make enough of a profit on those things, which is, for a cafe, it depends on where you're operating, like the cost of your staff and rates and rent and all the rest of it. But generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, you can say it has to be at least 60%. So you can look up, I'm not going to tell you how to work out gross profit percentage margin, but it has to be at least 60%. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get 70% or more, you're doing really well. So you want to make that on your standard products. And then what you want to do is make something a little bit special. That doesn't cost very much to make it special, and really hit it, because people then can't peg the price. Oh, how much is a ruby hot chocolate, for example? And I was telling people about making ruby hot chocolate. I said, put ruby hot chocolate in there. And they would say, oh, yeah, that sounds really good. The cocoa, you get like really high quality specialty cocoa. You put 30 grams in a glass, a small amount of water. and you mix it with a little mixer. Anybody can do it, which is the other thing. You don't have products on your menu that are very difficult to make, because then you have to train everybody and then they leave. You get turnover. You have to train the next people, and you get variances in quality, which
Yeah.
means that impacts your reputation.
Mhm.
So you make something very easy to make, and so you put that 30 grams in, bit of water, mix it up with one of those little electric mixers.
Mhm.
A minute, you're done, or 30 seconds, and you're done. But you put a teaspoon, or maybe two, but not much, of beetroot powder in, and a little bit of your milk or whatever. You've added another 10 pence to the cost, but that 10 pence in cost, you can add another pound to the price. And because people will Instagram it, put it in a nice glass. Anyway, so I was telling them this stuff, and it was very interesting to me that most people coming into the business, or interested coming into the business, came at it because they loved coffee, but didn't have I guess the tools yet on some of these things that
Mhm.
which you absolutely have to know, or you're gonna
Yeah,
suffer.
drinking coffee doesn't make you an expert.
No, it doesn't. And but anyway, so everybody's got to start somewhere.
Mhm.
So I think that went across quite well. It's quite interesting. I don't think the other speakers liked me, um, because probably because I talked too much. I think, honestly, and I didn't. I think I
You
talked
think?
too much. Yeah, I think so.
What makes you think that?
Also, one of them said, slightly snarkily, one of them
Uh-huh.
said, I when I was talking about the profit thing, it's like, well, I like to run an ethical business. I'm thinking to myself, I smiled. I think to myself, there's nothing unethical about putting food on your family's table. You know,
Yeah, and
I'm,
how dare you make money?
yeah.
How
Go
dare
to
you?
Morrison's.
You
Go
should be
complain to Morrison's. One pound
you should
75 for a cup of tea.
you should be ashamed. How dare you make money? It's a charity. You
That's right.
shouldn't make money. You should lose money. If
Well,
you want to run
the number of people that came into our cafe to tell us how we should, the changes we should make, having never run a cafe themselves.
Mhm.
It was amazing. On a weekly basis, I'd have at least an hour-long conversation with some new person that would walk in and say, "You know what you should do, Nick? You should," and then they'd like come up with turn it into a chip shop, or
Yeah.
go vegan, or whatever else.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely. That's where the money is.
not in Macedonia, it's not, no.
Nowhere.
So I know. So that was the coffee shop event. It was actually, though, here's the other thing I want to say about it. Very little coffee at the coffee shop innovation
Oh,
show.
that's a
Uh,
shame.
It was, you know what it is? It was all delivery food. It was all,
Uh,
everyone's getting into delivery food. It's a bubble. I tell you what, it's the next big bubble. Everyone's going to be getting into businesses doing, I don't know, urban delivery.
mm,
Lots of people selling the dream of urban delivery.
yes, urban delivery of coffee. I
But it
love my
wasn't even of
cold
coffee, it was of
espresso.
anything else. So
I love
I'm
my
not really
cold
quite sure.
espresso.
Yeah, yeah. So that was that show. I probably won't go back again. I mean, I've got to be careful because they were sponsors of our website. So I hope
Oh,
they're not listening to
whoops.
this. They were very nice people, but I didn't see that much coffee there.
Mm.
So yeah, it wasn't really a good show for coffee lovers, if that's your thing. I was going to also meet Jane and Juan from Carnival Roasters, but they came the next day, so we shipped past in the night, as it were.
It's all right. The coffee from Carnival Roasters is really, really tasty. I really liked it.
Can I
I
just
mean,
say, they've only been roasting for a couple of years. I think these guys are doing an amazing job.
yeah, it was very interesting.
Yeah, I've actually got. I mean, we're going to be revealing more about Carnival and some other companies in the coming, I'd say maybe in the coming month or so.
Mhm.
But I've been going through all their coffees. Yeah, I've been going through all their coffees,
He
all of
still
them.
he still hasn't slept.
Uh, we're buying kilos and kilos of it, Peter and I. We're just smashing our way through them. I'm getting more good. I mean, getting great ones. And there's not every single one have I had from, as I've said this before. I don't like every single one because it's a matter of taste. I can't like everything.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Um,
liked everything, it would mean that you have no idea what it would taste. But taste of what?
Yeah, I would have no specific tastes.
Yeah,
Um,
which is bad.
so
Which is bad.
yeah, but I would say that I like a lot of their coffee. And so I'll tell you what I'm drinking right now. Actually, I
Coffee.
can't tell you what I'm drinking right now because I can't remember the name of it. But we've just got through a
Aging really
kilo.
bad here.
Well, I don't know. What do they call? They all got funny names. I can't remember the name of it. I've taken some videos of it. I'm going to put up.
Mm.
It's a natural Ethiopian. So to our friends out there that don't know what a natural is, it's just a coffee that hasn't been washed when it's treated. It's
No, no,
basically
no. To our friends there out there that don't know what natural coffee is, natural processing is, hey, look at our old videos.
yeah. Go back and watch all of our videos.
Do your homework.
My friends just walked in with a cat. Sorry, just holding a cat there. I'm on the podcast. All go here at the house.
It's all right. On another note, new coffee machines.
Yeah, man. I've been more excited. I think a lot of people have had stuff in the pipeline over
Mhm.
COVID, and they're now just starting to bring them out. So
I think they
you
should have
start
brought
off.
them out last year, actually, because it would have been they would have sold a lot of them.
I don't think they could ship them.
Whatever. Well,
What are you saying?
anyway,
Are you saying you should sell them and not ship them? That's a
no,
great
you should.
idea.
Yeah, you should
That
sell
sounds like
them
that sounds
and
like
ship them.
cryptocurrency.
It's fine. Just charge them more and deliver them by hand. There is lots of them that I'm actually very excited about. There is the Faemina, which is brilliant. It's a Faema but tiny. It's a single
Yeah.
group Faema that has saturated group head. It's a dual boiler, and it's got all sorts of things. It looks different. It's not a shiny box. It's amazing. It's not a shiny box. And I'll tell you even more. It's a Faema
Tell me more, Max, please. Can you tell me more?
more.
Hmm.
It is a Faema and it doesn't have an E61.
Well, they invented the
They
E61.
invented it and
Now they're
not
moving on.
using it.
Now they're like, suckers. Now everyone's using them.
So
we're going to move on to what we really wanted
move
to
on,
do.
everyone. Stop building those shiny boxes. They're outdated. They're ugly, pointless.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what they're going for, Max. Maybe that's their strategy. They'll sit around in the board meeting. We need more ugly, pointless machines. Quick, anyone got
Yes.
any ideas?
Yeah. Let's use an E61 group head.
Mhm.
Hasn't changed for 60, 20, 80 years. No. 60 years.
You know, once again, Max, I forgot to hit the record button.
You have? Oh,
yeah,
good.
yeah. No, but it's all right because we're streaming live. Let me just go and check.
We're screaming live.
We're screaming. Oh God, I
So
hope
we're
we're
yelling.
It says we're screaming live.
Anyway, it looks amazing because it's not a shiny box. It's got shapes. It's got colors.
Mhm.
It's got a very nice touch chromed group head covering, which is brilliant. And it just looks the part. It looks very much like the Eagle One Prima. Actually, I think some of the buttons might have been lifted off from that one. It reminds me the Eagle One Prima. But anyway, the Eagle One Prima is an amazing machine. It looks amazing. So well done here. I mean, it looks fantastic, and it's got very cool features. It's got makes espresso, obviously, but it's got
What's it called?
Faemina.
But yeah, okay. You say that like I should be able to spell it.
Of course, you should be able to spell it. It's easy. It's how you say it. Faemina.
All right. Oh yeah.
And it has apparently a very precise delivery system for water, volumetric delivery system. So you can use a V60 under it. They sell.
No way.
Yes, they sell a V60 thing to put under the machine, so you can actually program for it to deliver a V60, and it will use the shower head to deliver the V60. It has a PID, and it's going to be extremely accurate, the temperature that you use. It is brilliant.
That
The way it delivers the water.
That sounds really good. I'm looking at it now.
It's
apart from the handle.
Oh, I love the handle. Oh, I love the handle. Come on, it looks gorgeous. Scroll down and you see it.
look, I'm not going to argue. It's a nice looking machine,
It's
and
a
you're
really
right.
nice.
It's got a certain look to it. It does look good. It does. How did I miss this?
It
This looks really
it
good.
looks really good, and I'm itching to try it. To be honest, I actually got in touch
I'll
with
buy
Faema.
one.
I got in touch with Faema, and
Did you really?
yeah, but they haven't replied to me. So bad Faema, bad on you.
Yeah, customer service, Famer.
Yeah, they were very active on the Facebook group, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're in Milan. Yeah, of course you're in Milan. I'm going to Milan every day, no?"
Yeah, yeah. That doesn't help. See the map. Come see us. Well,
Yeah,
look, that's actually a really nice looking machine. How much
it,
is it? A heat? It's a dual boiler, you say?
it's a dual boiler.
Oh,
It's
nice.
brilliant. It is brilliant. It's something that I'm really curious to try. I would really love to try this machine.
So I'm going to tell you what, right off the face of it, this is clean lines. It's kind of got a slightly. Would you say it's a modern interpret? Oh, look, I'm going to sound like an art critic. Listen to this. Check this out. You ready?
Yeah,
It's a modern interpretation of Art Deco.
yeah. I think it's. I don't know. It looks really good. I think it has all the right. It clicks all the right. Sorry, it makes the right sounds. It ticks all the boxes for me.
Yeah.
It
Is it a
is
rotary pump
really
or
cool.
it must? It
Yeah,
please
yeah.
tell me
It's
you
a
can plug
rotary
it into the
pump.
mains. Yeah.
You definitely plug it into the mains. I'm not sure you can have tank. If it has a tank, that would be fantastic. I think it can be
Hmm.
done in both ways.
I wouldn't care about. Well, I don't know. Okay,
Yeah.
but I tell you what, you're absolutely right. And tell you another thing I like about this machine. There's a couple of things I like about it. One, it's got a satin finish rather than a shiny finish, and
Uh huh.
that's good because that is going to be much easier to clean. You take a look at the front of it, that whole front surface where the coffee might splatter,
Yeah.
it's just a wipe. That is awesome. As somebody whose machine now looks like I've dragged it through the mud,
Yeah. Exactly.
that is amazing. Also, on the right hand side, the manometer, which I like saying because it makes me sound really professional as
Uh
opposed to
huh.
saying the little gauge, but it's really just the little gauge. That looks like. Do you know what I mean by a pilot watch?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You know, so the watches in in World War II, the pilots had these watches, and they became like an iconic status. And if you look today now, if you just go and Google pilot watch, you'll see, especially some of the German pilot watches, you'll see this kind of. They're quite large watches because obviously, you know, you're a pilot, you don't want to be squinting. They're quite large watches, and they've got this kind of. They usually have a black dial with white
Mhm.
hands on them, and they've got this kind of certain style to it. I reckon that if it's not a homage to a pilot watch, they've just stolen the design cues from a pilot watch because it looks different. It looks fantastic. It doesn't look like they've pulled something out the parts bin, does it?
Yeah.
It looks
It looks unusual. It looks different from what you
mhm.
normally see, and it's full of features. I was reading stuff, and it's amazing. It's got even just these water delivery system that delivers it um to the. I'm actually I want to share the screen. Ah, of course I can't.
No. I'm not going to let you share the screen, Max. What do you think? I'm going to lose control of this whole thing?
Ah. Anyway, so the
Shall
water.
I share the screen?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's because
I don't mind.
it's
I don't
worth it.
mind having the power to do that. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
So the people listening. Oh, what is
People
it?
listening, suck it up.
People listening. Just
Unfortunately, we're going to.
I'm going to describe what you're missing.
Yeah,
So I'm just
you see that is brilliant. And
yeah.
so the fact that they have these very precise water delivery system and the very accurate because it's a saturated group head again or a dual boiler. I don't particularly know how they heat up the water because obviously they don't say.
Hmm.
But anyway, they claim to have a very accurate water temperature delivery,
Right.
which goes really well um, with the V60 with a V60 underneath, which is come on, it's awesome. It's totally awesome.
That is pretty cool. So
And
I am actually going to just describe this
you see
quickly
that
for
on the background on the left hand side. That's the
yeah.
V60 that you can
Yeah,
put
they got the
under the
V60
machine.
sitting there saying, "Hey, that's our thing. That's our little trick. We
It's
taught this machine a new trick."
it is brilliant. So you can, in this case, you can actually do many things with the same machine.
But I mean, let's face it. Like, if you're going to do a pour over, I mean, why wouldn't you just do a pour over? Why would you put it under your espresso machine?
Because you might have your espresso machine already up,
Well, it's too
already
much
on.
effort to boil a kettle. But I'm just saying it's cool. I'm
You're
just
wasting
saying.
energy because you're heating it up twice. Might as well use that.
Yeah.
It's already
Okay.
hot.
All right. Well, let's go and see what the rest of it is. But that thing, I think it's nice, but it's a bit of a trick. I'm not sure how much fun I'd use it. You probably use it more than me. I quite
Um,
like the idea. I've got a gooseneck kettle. I quite like
I
the
have a gooseneck
Zen.
kettle too, but that's a different thing. You can actually program it and walk away and do something else. The
What else are you
gooseneck
going to
kettle
do?
is
Why would you want to do something else? The whole point of coffee making is to have that meditative experience of you're one with the machine, you and the
yes,
machine and
but
the universe are
these
all
can make
together.
your life easier. This can make your life
I don't know.
easier.
You know, you
And
sound like Twitter. You know, Twitter's
no,
going to make your
it's
life easier. Social media is going to make your life
no,
easier.
social media is going to ruin your life. That's a different story. It's going to suck the life out of you. That's a different thing. No, these I think it's a brilliant idea, and it's something new. We've never seen something like that.
Listen, I'm going to explain this very quickly in a nutshell to the listeners so they're not like,
Yes,
super
it looks
frustrated.
great. Buy it.
It's a Toblerone, right? It's a Toblerone shape, but clean on the front with a
Right.
satin metal finish as opposed to a shiny chrome. So you know what I mean by a satin finish. It's not going to get fingerprints. It's not going to get coffee stains stuck on it and like ingrained into it. So it's going to be really easy to clean. The bottom half of the Toblerone kind of comes out at a 45-degree angle. It slopes down into the drip tray. It's kind of hard to see from here, but that's what it's actually doing. You've got a hot water dispenser on the left, a steam wand on the right, this very cool little minimalist pilot watch looking manometer on the right. That's the only dial.
That's the group
Then
head
in the
pressure.
center,
That's the group head pressure.
yeah, the group head pressure. Then I like saying manometer. Can I just say that?
Of course.
Okay, even if it's wrong, doesn't matter. Then in the middle, you've got sort of a Cyclops central. Oh, if you've ever seen the mini car, the dash on the mini car, the speedo on the mini has that big round dial. It's kind of got one of those with some buttons on it above the saturated group head, where you obviously can do your programming, and then on top of that, it's got the cup warmer. So very minimalist, stylish, modern. And I don't know the size, but from looking at the cups, unless they're particularly large cups, it makes it look smaller, which would be a cheat. If they're standard cup sizes, it's not a big machine. It's got in a small footprint for dual boiler.
It's not
pretty
massive.
good.
And on top of that, these, as you see from where you're at, this is a professional machine. So this is aimed at small coffee shops as well, and that's why probably the V60 delivery system.
Ah, yeah. So that way you don't have to train your baristas, or even actually not even train your baristas. That isn't the issue. It is the time then, because I'm sitting there at a coffee shop getting a V60 last year or 2 years ago, whenever it was, and the guy was spending ages doing the pour over, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I wonder who did the profit calculation on this.
Exactly.
And
you can program bloom phase. You can program these things. So that's really, 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 really good.
What do you think the price is going to be?
I think
let's have a bet on it. Let's go and have a competition.
I think it's gonna float around the Eagle One Prima, so probably around 4K, 5,000.
Wow, an Eagle One Prima is 4,700 max. So
yeah. So this is probably gonna be around 5,000. But hey, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't. I was hoping you're going to say something different, because I was going to go for about 4.5.
Yeah, I think we're both bang on, but you never know. Maybe it's gonna surprise us in a good way. It's gonna be 1,000.
It's not.
Never gonna be
no chance. What if saturated grid, all that kind of stuff? No, it's going to be. I think what they'll try and do is get it under £5,000. They'll shave it in under £5,000, and then they'll charge you, £500 for shipping. So
yeah, and then they're gonna charge you another £1,000
and another £200 for the
portafilter.
proprietary plug.
Yeah. But do you want the portafilter? Yeah.
But, you want to be able to plug it in? Well, I got this proprietary plug here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's yours, Max. That's a great pick. It's a great pick. And there's not much that could possibly overshadow that, except
San Remo.
San Remo came out. After we slagged them off
Yeah, we actually slagged them off big time.
Well, actually, we shouldn't say that.
And
We didn't
what
slag
did
them
we
off.
say?
We raised
We were
some.
underwhelmed.
Hmm?
We were underwhelmed.
We raised some points, some fair points about why we thought it was shit.
And then what did we say?
So here we go. So this is the cube. This is the one that we weren't able. By the way, I've been watching people chat about this. We're not alone. I think I also saw a YouTube video. I didn't watch it. It sort of said, WTF price or something. And most people are thinking this is overpriced. But here's the thing: the same designer that did your San Remo cube also did the other San Remo, which we really like.
He listened to me, and I did say in the previous podcast, make a single group.
Yeah, make a proper professional single group, and that's what this is. So for those of you listening again who are cursing and banging the steering wheel in the car,
cafe racer. That's a single group cafe racer.
They have made a single group cafe racer,
which I did say first. I claim it. That's my claim to fame.
Did we record that? I'm not sure that was
Yes, we recorded it. And I said, come on, guys, I could just do these.
I think I may have actually just led you to that position. So, yeah. Anyway, we both felt that way. This is what we wanted them to produce.
And they did.
They call it rather cheesily the San Remo U. Now, if you ever go to America, or if for Americans, obviously they're in America, so they know this. When you thank somebody, they thank you back, and you get into a perpetual loop of thank yous. I call it the infinite thank you cycle, which is very difficult to break out of. I say thank you, Max, and you're going to thank you, and I feel like I have to thank you back. So, no, thank you, and you go, well, thanks you, and it kind of just goes backwards and forwards like this,
right,
for quite a while. So San Remo, this is what reminds me of that. It reminds me of that sort of acute politeness. It's the you, because it's not about them, it's about you, which means it is about them. Oh, that's clever. See what they did there? The you is them. They are you. Wow, that's so meta. So,
Nick, did you take your pills today?
I had an extra coffee. I had an extra coffee. I'm drinking Carnival coffee. Let's wave the flag for a second. Drinking Carnival coffee. I am loving it. That Ethiopian, natural, unwashed. The fruits are exploding in my face. It's like Mike Tyson has got two big strawberries on his fists. He just punches you. That's what it's like. I hope I meet Mike Tyson one day, and when he's in a good mood. So this San Remo U has, they've just got, I'd say they pretty much got everything right on it in terms of the way it looks. As far as the looks go, this thing is awesome, and it's customizable.
Yeah,
it's modern looking. It's a bit cyborgy. It looks like if it ever got an intelligence, it would kill you. It would crawl along those legs. You
can probably ride it to work as well.
You could ride it to work. It would be a jetpack. It would be, this is the coolest looking espresso machine. I'm going to make it up to San Remo, having slagged off their cube.
Rightly so.
Rightly slagged. I mean, Max slagged off their cube. I didn't. I simply agreed with Max's. Well, I went along. I did go along with the bad things that Max was saying about it.
It was pretty rubbish.
But I felt a lot of peer pressure at the time, and it really wasn't my fault.
Awesome. And it has a tank.
It has got. It's a small tank. It's a small tank, but it has got one.
It has one.
Yeah, it has one. The point is, you could actually make this portable, although it's very heavy apparently.
I mean, I wouldn't.
But you could take this to events.
But you can. No, the thing is, you can put it in any kitchen.
Yeah, you can put it in any kitchen.
In mine.
What?
Even in mine.
Well, only if you pay for it, Max. That's no.
San Remo, send it to me. Nick will pay.
Well, San Remo is going to watch what you said about the cube. They're not sending you anything, pal. That's your.
I am raising awareness, and they should have asked me first.
Listen, the same guy who designed the cube designed this. So when you insulted the cube, you're basically like insulting his children. It's like telling him his children are ugly. So good luck on your Christmas card.
They are ugly. No,
No, the cube was beautiful, right? It was too expensive for what it was. But anyway,
I don't think
back onto the back onto the U. Saturated group head,
Yes.
dual boiler,
Yes.
really awesome looking controls. So that flat screen on the top.
Flow profiling.
Oh, profiling too.
Electronic control of the flow profiling, by the way.
It's got a paddle with a toggle instead of a paddle, which makes it cooler.
But if you scroll down the bloody thing here, just
bloody thing here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to add adult
tags. See that?
What bit? What, this one?
There are 6 standard profiles. Why do you have
you're reading in Italian. Okay, well, I can't read Italian.
Well, I have it in Italian. I have it in English here on mine, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
so you have 6 standard profiles already there, 12 profiles that are completely customizable, and you can intervene in all 3 extraction phases, so you can actually bloom and then profile and extract.
Yeah.
And the ability to totally disable pre-infusion and post-infusion.
Yeah.
So you can do your profile and save it. It's brilliant.
Yeah. And the way the screen looks, I don't know if you can kind of see it here. So on the screen here with the bar charts and things, it has got a really nice, instead of going with lots of colors and everything else, it just goes for this understated, but quite detailed. It's for nerds. If you're a nerd, you're going to love this because it tricks out all the numbers but they've done it in a very stylish way. Kudos to them. I love this machine. This is the machine I want, unless the other one's cheaper. But I still even want this one. You know what this is? So for the listeners, let me just basically describe this for you. To all our listeners who ever watched Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So the X-Wing machines that fly around, they made that sound, which is crazy because in space, obviously, there is no sound. But so it kind of ruined it for me. But anyway, they've got like that. Those X-Wings, if they were espresso machines, this would be them. It's black. It's kind of got that X-Wing look about it. Just imagine now Star Wars, but with espresso machines. That's what it is. It's also quite compact, heavily built, small boilers, interestingly, small boilers, which I'm not against. There have been some criticisms, but I don't think people necessarily know what they're talking about.
You don't need a massive boiler as long as you do not need
a massive boiler. Yeah.
So yeah, who cares?
Yeah, I don't care. Some thing looks like this. Jeez.
Yeah. This one is brilliant. I have only one fear: the price.
So
wait. How much was the other one from Sanremo? The QB thingy?
Like £3,700,
so
I think.
This one is probably going to cost about, I don't know, considering their pricing policy, is probably going to cost 20,000.
No, it's not. It's going to be £7,000 to £9,000, I reckon.
I think it's going to be, probably something like that. Yeah,
it's going to be between. So look, it's
going to be overpriced for.
Going to be overpriced. Well, you say overpriced. This is the whole thing about me talking about price profit margins. And again, if they can get it, and I don't know how many they can make. Is this a numbers game to them where they're going to sell, tens of thousands, or are they going to make 10. A high profit on a smaller number?
Exactly.
They'll do that.
Do you want to sell thousands or do you want to sell 10? Up to you.
Well, it may not be 10. They may prefer, like Apple doesn't sell as many phones as Samsung or whatever it is, but they're more profitable. Right? Because they make more money on it. So I think Sanremo's policy may well be to do that. And that's absolutely their right to do that.
No, it's unfair because I can't afford it.
That is unfair. But Max, we've always got another option, which is to steal one. We just haven't got to work out
that's
a plan
an easy
yet.
thing. Yeah, it's a very easy thing to steal one of these.
Well,
I can service one.
We could service one, and then we could tell them, we need to get a rich guy who's got one, and we need to tell him we're from Sanremo, and we're coming to collect it because there's a faulty part, and it's not safe. We need to collect it and do a refurbish at the factory recall. Yeah. We pick it up, and then we just never see him again. We take it away. It's a genius idea. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, let's definitely do that. Anyway, so this one is brilliant. It's actually really, really cool. So there was a lot that came out around there.
So those are the coffee machines that came out. So I'm going to be. I'm gutted that we haven't heard the prices. I don't know why they've had a long time to prep. I do not know why they didn't announce price.
They don't announce prices normally. It's actually very difficult to find prices. You need to find the retailer that then tells you the price.
because they're different prices in different countries because of different tax regimes and shipping costs and everything else.
Yeah, still,
So
they are
yeah, so
roughly the same everywhere.
they want to get them in the distributor's hands and yeah,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. I do. You're right. I get that. But there was one other thing I wanted to touch upon very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a chance to look at any deeply, but I really did like, and I can't believe I'm saying this.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Mazza grinder range that came out.
I
And I had
don't.
a Mazza grinder, which I hated, and that's why I'm saying I can't believe I'm saying it. So, when I was down at Peabury, so did I mention I was down at Peabury? I was down at Peabury Coffee Roasters, and they got a new Slayer. So I was playing on their Slayer, and they've also got an EK43 grinder, my colleague, you know that one, the
Mm-hmm.
big one, yeah, and they've got a Mazza grinder. So I pointed at the Mazza grinder, and I was saying to Vicky, actually, saying to Vicky, God, I hated that thing when we had one in the cafe because the ring, you have to adjust it with the ring, which has got this pole. It is like the most basic kind of like, leverage that you have to pull a lever and it turns a ring. And then I lost the lever because it unscrews. You take it off once you finished and you take it off, you put it away in the drawer and then you lose it. And then you
Mm-hmm.
can't turn the damn dial. And she said, oh, that happened to me. So we all had, so everybody has this problem with the Mazda grinders. I hate them. But the new Mazda grinder that I was looking at, apart from looking really, really nice, I have to say, there are a couple of new ones that came out. One of them in particular looks really nice. They were doing demos where they've got one bean of coffee, all right, and they take
Mm-hmm.
off the chute, the whole thing. So they show you it's empty. They clean it all out. It's empty. There's nothing in. There's no coffee grinds in there whatsoever. They
Mm-hmm.
put it back into the machine. Then they'll give you one bean of coffee and they'll put a cup underneath. And you put the one bean in and it's no retention. It would actually grind that one bean. They put that one bean in the hopper, goes through. Very interesting. And the reason they're doing that, unfortunately, it's not for us at home. It's for commercial installations. The reason being that you can then mix different origin coffees without the possibility of cross contamination. I think it's fantastic.
But but how would you do that when you
Well, I
mix it?
wanted to do it at my cafe. We had different kind of coffees. People would come in and they'd say, I want the dark roast espresso.
Yes,
You have to have a different grinder for every different type of coffee that you
that
wanted
is
to
very
offer.
true. But why would you do that? Because you still have, if you have a funnel, if you have a hopper with beans.
No, you don't have a hopper with beans. You've got it's a tiny little, like a 2-inch high hopper, just basically this tiny little funnel.
So you put it's a single dosing.
Single dosing, yeah. It's a single dosing
right.
machine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a very, very nice looking, and it looked nice. And I just wanted one for my kitchen, even though it would take up half the space. Thing was huge. It was the size of
Yeah,
a
they do
car.
like their oversized things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't even want to know how much that would be.
Well, once again, the price wasn't announced. Listen, there was more from the show, but I think that's enough for today.
Yeah,
I think
it's
we don't want to
good
get
for
people
another time.
too excited in one go. So nice to see you again, Max. Been a couple of weeks. There you are.
I am here.
You are. Oh, I'm still sharing.
You're still sharing.
I'm still sharing. There we go. So nice to see you again. Good luck building the house or whatever it is you're doing. Don't try to knock it over.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. And next week, I have no idea. Wait, do you know, I tell you what I'd really like to do? Can we do a deep dive on one of these machines?
Well, if they send us one, yeah, I would love
not
that.
if they send us one. Can we do it? I'd like to, if there's more information available, I'd really like to do a little bit more analysis onto either the San Remo or the Faima.
Yeah, we could do the Faima.
Yeah.
I'm curious about it.
I'll see if I can find out some information as well. I might write to them as well.
Let's try to get one.
We're not going to get one.
You never know if you don't ask.
Maybe if I lied, what can I tell them? I could tell them
we have
that
billions of viewers.
I could no, I could just pretend to be Tom Cruise or something. I could use that deep fake of Tom Cruise out there. Say,
Um,
listen, I'm here in England making a movie, and I really want it in the background. I've heard it's really great. Yes, Mr. Cruise. What do you think?
yeah,
That could work.
yeah, definitely.
Don't ask, don't
All right,
get, as
Tom.
my mother used to say. All right, my friend, you have yourself a great next time. You know what I actually said? I was gonna say when we came on, hey Max, I'm not gonna forget to record this show.
And you did.
I forgot to record the show again. I'll grab it off thank God it's live. I'll grab it off the live streams, and I will see you next week.